watching the very best in local programming from CVI, Channel 3, Long Beach.
I love to pull his leg. Oh, hey, here we go. Everybody is here. Let's welcome you all to this evening, our Sons of the Desert meeting. We've got some fantastic clips to look at and some fantastic people to listen to talk to look at, all that kind of great stuff. But why don't we start out, and I'll tell you who's on the show in a minute. Just keep your pants on. Let's go ahead and start out like we usually do with the Sons of the Desert meeting. Everybody stand up. And whenever you're ready in the back, you boys can go ahead and, geez, even the guests are standing up. This is pretty special. We are the Sons of the Desert, having the time of our lives, marching along, 2,000 strong, far from our sweethearts and wives, God bless them. Tramp, 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 the boys are marching, and dancing to this melody. Are beautiful. Sit down, sit down. Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. I will be turning over tonight's festivities to our largest member at large, John Craig. And John, whenever you're ready, I'm going to just let you do it. Just give me half a minute to get in the back.
Thank you very much. We'll get in the back and make sure you flush. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our show. It's going to be a fun evening. You're familiar with the Firesign Theater. If you're not, you're going to be when we get finished with you. It's an exciting, fun time, a trip back into nostalgia and a trip ahead into what's going on with the guys in the future.
Kind of a head trip.
Kind of a head trip, and yes, you'll get plenty of that. And we'll also have available to us the gentleman who has said that he has absolutely made a pillow out of belly-button lint that is being slept on by Hillary Clinton as we speak tonight. So be back with us in just a moment. Don't go away, especially you, Marcia, in the Teddy. And you, Teddy, in the Marcia. All right.
Cool.
Live from the heart of Long Beach and the soul of Signal Hill, CVI presents Talk of the Town with your host, John Craig, and our special salute to the Firesign Theater. And now, here's a man who likes his coffee the way he likes his women, cold. Here's John.
What was it, the Japanese or the Russians?
The Russians.
Russians, they applaud each other?
Да, конечно, это надо сделать, понимаете вы все.
Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Bergman, Phil Proctor from Firesign Theater. How about a big hand for them, ladies and gentlemen?
Big hand.
There's a big hand over there for them.
Thank you.
And I'd like to thank whoever gave me this shirt. I just noticed it on television. I'm not going to wear this again. This is the dumbest thing
We
I've ever
control
seen.
the horizontal, we control the vertical, but not the colors.
Firesign Theater, if people out there that may, there's just two groups of people, absolutely three groups of people. Mm-hmm. One group of people that knows you, big fans of Firesign Theater.
That's right.
There's another group of people that have never heard of you.
Never.
There's a third group that know of you and don't want to hear about you.
That's a small niche, and we're trying to
Very small.
recapture that niche right now, John. We want to bring them back into the fold.
Back into the fold.
Yeah, the ones that don't know about us, we just have to write them off as losers.
Yeah.
Not in a negative sense.
No.
Just,
No.
no, not in a negative
negative
sense.
sense,
They
no.
just lost the opportunity.
Losses more than
Yeah.
anything else. They
And then we're
missed
just looking for that group of people who have kind of left the fold. You know, the way people leave Scientology and then are brought back, you know, through...
Constantly.
Yeah, well, we consider we consider people
Private
who
detectives.
did not turn on to the Firesign Theater to be part of what you would call the X generation because they just missed all of this.
Entire-
They just
an entire
X'd it right
era.
out. Yeah.
Phil is not being age appropriate, I have to say. Nothing personal.
Oh, have you done another
no.
PC, non-PC, unpolitically correct thing?
Well, I am a PC clone. I believe, yes, I am actually official PC clone. That's not age correct to speak of the X generation, and yet to have no real knowledge of it, either age-wise, which is obvious, you know, or culture-wise,
Yeah.
because you always
Oh,
watch
2 points, you know.
This is a man that watches VH1 12, 18 hours a day. He has
Try to be
no
right.
idea who the X generation is. He thinks it's people who voted out of Rock the Vote. He doesn't really
Well,
know.
we came from the eggs generation because when we
speak-
would perform, people would throw things at us. And I thought it was just a continuation of that.
You can't wriggle out of this one.
My brains are scrambled. I'm sorry. It's the eggs. It's in everybody's eggs. But that's another story.
And he'll tell it.
We have a, can we show the clip? Do we want to show the clip back
Sure.
there? Yes? Let's show the clip. We've got a
What's
short
this got to
clip.
do with anything?
I don't know.
This
He
is
wants
a-
to get. It's too hot for him.
I had
The water's too strong. He does not want to surf here.
I had a.
Is it a roach?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure again this week to welcome you to the Firesign Radio Mystery Theater. Yes, it's later than you think, as out of the fog, D-O. Out of the smog, out of the back seat of his car, and into the back seat of his pants. He steps cautiously into a nearby phone booth. He's ready for mystery. He's ready for excitement. He's ready for a phone call. He is...
Nick Danger, Third Eye.
I thought I'd get you at the office early, Nicky.
That voice. My heart began to beat like a wet steamed crab. Who is this?
It's Nancy.
I thought so.
I know those guys.
Those guys were so young.
What
You see
happened
the
to my hair?
The John Wilkes Booth look? That was pretty big then.
Now, as I'm watching, and you're watching this,
That was
thing,
in
you
Washington,
were
D.C.
laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, laughing because is this stuff that you do come in so quick and then it's gone?
No.
Or was it just
I
the
was laughing at
remembrance?
the hairstyles.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, the hairstyles. And that Yale sweatshirt doesn't fit me anymore ever since I've been buffing out. So I thought of that, too.
I like that.
The
by
fact of
way.
the matter is that
Very
our
alike.
material does hold up over time, and we actually do, since they re-released the stuff in the CD
Here comes
format.
the cell.
Do we have a CD? Do you happen to have
Oh,
one?
we got a few here, yeah. See, all of these things, they've re-released all of our material in the CD format. And in doing that, of course, they bring out all of the various levels of the work we didn't hear before. And there were jokes in here that I had never heard before.
Ever.
When I got never, ever, and it just makes me laugh.
Human ears.
It's
Human
absolutely
ears
amazing.
had never
over
heard.
the years, you know. Also, the jokes over the years they change a little bit. You know, having a lasting power with comedy. Some of the
lasting power with
comedy. Yes, yes.
He's
yes.
been watching those religious channels again, John.
Is this the McNeil-Lehrer report?
It's kind of the hairless McNair report, John. And he's getting very excited. He watches a lot of this, what's that called? Stand Poorly and Fall Well Hour. Have you seen that? Oh, yes. Those
I believe.
Siamese twin evangelists that keep jolting the adrenaline back and forth between their shared body. And I find that you can only see it, though, in the South.
Parsons Stereo.
You see a lot of other things in the South. I want to tell you what it's like to be on CD.
What is it like to
well,
be on
CD? It's a minimalist experience because we used to make albums that came with large posters like those
like
on the
these.
wall.
There's a poster.
And there was a
big one.
thing called
Big
album
album.
art. Remember that word, album art? Oh,
Yes.
God, you want to see the album art
look at this
on the new album by, I can't remember, but you know, the suns and the snakes coming out of his eyes, and you know, there was real art. Nowadays, on CDs, there's no art.
tiny
everything's
things.
everything's tiny.
And we're
You
too
can't
old
look-
to even read this stuff. We have to listen to the records.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
But see,
there's
there-
no art in this on
There's some of the old art. That's
Look at
a
that.
good
There's
old
art.
Oh, there's a piece of art for you.
Look at that.
You
That's
can hang that on
beautiful.
your wall.
Yeah,
See?
particularly to cover, you know, for example, the FBI watching from the other side. Remember those days? That's when this album was made. This album comes from a series
Dear Friends.
of radio shows that we made on KPFK in Los Angeles, which is the listener-sponsored, completely free radio station. So we made untrammeled radio, and Columbia Records produced them, produced it in a best of album.
Was that the discovery? Would you say that's the discovery of Firesign Theater? It was
What?
KPFK, and then Columbia
Yeah.
heard it, and then
Absolutely.
A little
yeah.
background.
Well, the thing
Oh,
is,
yeah,
I had a show on KPFK late at night in 1966 called Radio Free Oz. Do any of you in the audience remember
Radio
the Radio
Free
Free
Oz?
Oz
Any of
show
you
from
remember
19
Yes,
Yes? Yes, you do?
how many of you remember radio?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
the thing
if
is-
you remember in those days, FM was really basically unknown, and I got an opportunity to have this show late at night, every night from 11 to 2 in the morning. I was on 5 nights a week, and bringing in all of this culture that I'd already experienced in Europe the year before. And I brought all that stuff in there, including Phil Proctor, my buddy from college, and David Osmond and Phil Austin were connected with the station, or had just been connected, and we formed the Firesign Theater around this show.
Phil had just been disconnected, wasn't he? Just been
No,
fired.
David had been
David had just
disconnected.
been disconnected. He'd been fired from the-
David had gone on to work at ABC Television, was about to, suited up. He suited up. He's the only one of the four of us that has ever suited up. He's put on goofy suits to do IBM infomercials, but it only lasts for a day.
So
you
just a
know?
costume.
Yeah, but David was truly suited up. Oh, God, were those the days.
So that was the beginning, and then Columbia picked
The
up
Love
on
In
it.
did it.
The Love In?
The Love In did it.
What was the Love In?
I invented the Love In. That's my contribution to the American culture. When I pass away and I become compost, they'll look over there and they'll go, oh, that invented the Love In. Wow, man, the Love In.
Where?
Where? At Elysian Park.
Yeah.
Easter. Were any of you at the Love In at Elysian
Love
Park?
In Elysian Park, the
Easter,
first Love In.
Any of you
Easter
know where
of
Elysian Park is?
1967.
Right there.
April 24th. You weren't, huh? Well,
How many
aliens,
people
huh?
were there?
Long
I was
Beach.
there.
Mainly from
were
Iowa,
there.
right?
Oh, tell them how many people showed up.
Oh, about 65,000.
65,000 and none of
people
you
show-
were there?
No, they're telling the truth. I like the Long Beach crowd, no poseurs. If this was Hollywood, everybody would, yeah. I was in the tent. I was the guy with the bull in my head with the eyes swirling. Remember me with the elf and the guy with the Tolkai? Yeah, we'd be all over each other. No, these people tell the truth. They're from Long
We
Beach.
have some callers. Do you mind if we talk? They might have been
Do I
there.
have any control over this?
No.
No.
Richard, how are you?
Fine, John. How are you doing tonight?
You have a question for our friends from Firesign Theater.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you, you thought that some people might not have heard of the Firesign Theater. I follow it extensively. In fact, I've studied Phil extensively. I work in the Veterans Hospital in the proctorology department.
I see. You got in kind of through the back end there, right?
Here it goes. Here it goes.
Oh, I do want to point out to you, however, that Gesundheit.
Thank you.
I want to, speaking of health, that Proctor, the name doesn't actually come from proctos, which is the Greek word for rectum. It comes from proctorus, which is a Latin word for a pimp or panderer. I just wanted to straighten that out because, you know, it's tough being, you know, people, you know.
We have an hour, don't we, John?
We got 3 or 4 days.
John?
Yes, sir.
Did you know they're also making a remake of that famous John Wayne movie, Back to Bataan? It's going to star Michael Fay. It's called Back to Rattan.
Back to
Rattan.
I don't get it.
Hang with it.
I don't get it at all. Thanks a lot.
Local Long
Rattan,
Beach.
Michael Fay.
Michael
you know,
Fay.
Rattan.
Oh, all right, back to Rattan.
Back to Rattan.
Ah,
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mail in.
He
some of
doesn't
your
watch
other
television.
goodness, all right?
Chris.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Very good, sir.
I just wanted to say, first of all, shoes for industry, compadres.
Shoes for
Hey,
industry.
shoes for industry. Shoes for
And
the
I
dad.
really don't have a question. I just wanted to thank you for making my life a little weirder.
Well, thank you.
There's
It's
a
our,
man
it's
with
our
no life
pleasure.
at all.
Very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris, very much. Chris, were you at the Love It in Elysian Park?
No, I was not.
No, he was 3 years old.
How old are you? How old are you, Chris?
I'm 33.
33.
Oh, good.
33.
That
And
puts
a
him right
third.
in that-
And a third.
33 and
Slowly
a-
revolving. Yes, I am.
Do you know, let me ask you, do you know where they got the name Firesign Theater? Don't help.
No, but I would love to know that.
All right, we'll do that right now.
Fantastic.
Now, or we're
Right
not going to go to commercial. Oh,
No,
fine.
we'll do it right now. No, that was a great segue, but they just held up 1 minute.
Call this 900 number and find out how we got our name. You know, I turned my home number to a 900 number recently because everybody that calls me wants something. They want something. So let them pay for it. My mom calls, start wondering why I'm not president of the United States.
Excuse us, go right ahead.
Oh, his microphone fell off.
That's all right.
I said, go ahead, Mom.
Could have been worse.
Your dime, you know, and on they go. You know, people call.
We've had a man lose his trust.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Or if you want to find out how we got our name,
got that.
you can subscribe to the 4-alarm fire signal.
I happen
They'll
to
tell you
have
how to
that.
do it a little bit later. This has all the information about the Firesign Theater and put together by fans. But the fact is, the real fact is, we are all fire signs.
Astrological.
Astrological fire signs.
In those days, that was real important.
April, August, and October.
That's right. Well, actually, July for me. I'm July 28th. I'm a Leo.
And I had my sign changed since then. So.
Yeah, he did.
Was
it-
It cost me a fortune.
It did. It cost a lot. To
Yeah,
change
it cost me
your sign.
$500.
How does one change
man. I didn't
one's
wanna-
sign?
The
I'm a
karmic
Taurus.
expense. The
I'm
karmic
a double
expense.
Taurus with Pisces, with my moon in Pisces. That's why I feel so good.
Well, for those of you whose moons are rising, try to sit differently. All right, we're gonna go back, take some phone calls, talk some more with the craziness and fun of Firesign Theater.
After
So
what?
don't you go away.
What's going to happen now?
We're gonna go.
The Hanging Athenian Gardens, you know, one of our oldest sponsors
Did they hang
here.
that Athenian yet?
Well, he's hanging, of course, as we all know, out in front of this great restaurant. They feature Armenian food, geek dancing, and those live chickens that you've heard so much about. There's free cheese logs to every woman over 45 who goes in this week only.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad I'm in town.
Well, sweetie, don't forget the cheese log throw every Thursday, and you'll get a free sparring partner if you come unaccompanied.
I don't believe in throwing fights. I fight fair.
You do? Ever?
When you can't stand the pace in the big rodent race, come on in where it's safe, where the menu is trade. There's a smell in the air that reminds you of hair. You've got something to get, and it looks like your pants. Aren't you hungry? First we take some rat parts and fry them up real nice. Then we skin the kitties and barbecue the mice. Guts in a cup, yum! Mouse on a stick, wow! French fried fleas and beer battered tits. Right in a box. We fry what you want. Right in a box. We fry what you want. Right in a box. We fry what you want.
Touch of Travel appreciates that business people expect knowledgeable service when it comes to travel plans. We provide the best connections at the lowest prices available, and in addition, we'll deliver your tickets free of charge anywhere. Of course, we're pleased to make hotel and rental car arrangements at any city in the world and specialize in convention planning and travel. Touch of Travel stands behind what they sell. So next time when business calls, call Touch of Travel, your business connection agency in Long Beach.
Here they come in their hell for leather golf carts. The street people!
Terrifying their own children, living in a world only they can understand.
They'll bug you. They'll bug your mind. The street people! You'll see them in breakfast nooks across the country, smoking cigarettes, drinking martinis, driving 2 cars! See them hanging out at redemption centers, licking glue.
Making deals with total strangers.
The street people!
You'll be inside their minds as they say,
Anything more from the supermarket, honey?
More sugar! The street people!
Watch out, you're wired.
Oh, that's right. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Gentlemen,
Tethered. I'm
his
sorry.
underwear is all the way back here in the back right now.
John,
for those of you that may not know what I am wearing, and you just mentioned it's a very rare piece of memorabilia. This is a Rat in the Box hat.
That's right.
And I began working there right after I saw Nick Danger.
Yeah.
And the missing yolks.
It's a great place, Rat in the Box. They're everywhere now. They've got a
Did
couple.
you ever catch any hell from McDonald's?
Yes. No, not from McDonald's.
From Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box wrote us. Their lawyer wrote us.
And he said,
and they were owned
how
by
did you
something
know?
called something like, I don't know, Sumpco or some name like that. It had nothing to do with Jack in the Box. They said, well,
Sumco Disposal Systems.
Sumco Disposal Systems, now owners of Jack in the Box, right? And they said, we honor our many, many employees. And we started talking about the employees out of nowhere. We honor the many, many people who trudge aimlessly through our et cetera, et cetera. And on this went. And it said, and we think you're doing them a disservice with your Rat in the Box commercial.
The employees.
The employees. Didn't bother the stockholders who were leeches that were living at the higher echelons of the business, sending out junk bonds. No, it was the employees they were concerned about. Their honor, their dignity was being impugned by this piece of humor. And so they asked us, so that these people might not have their whole their whole self-esteem shell broken, that we desist. And at the end, the guy who must have been a fire sign fan, one of them gave it to the young lawyer, said, and good luck with your career. Well, they were able to get the audio of that off a station. They lifted it in Denver. One station stopped playing Rat in the Box. That's all they got away with. Oh, poor fools.
Well, I'm wearing the hat, as you can see.
That's right.
There's a lot of things, and we're going to be bringing up later, that you guys have jackets and shirts and bringing back.
Oh, it's embarrassing. We've gone into the merch business. And we're just a bunch of
No,
schmuck
you've done it.
We got to do it.
Yeah, got to do it. We've started the Fire Sign shopping channel. It's really the we're proud of it. I mean, we're proud of it. It had to happen.
Yeah.
We have to, you know, we're trying to get back into the stream of things, and that's really the only place to go now is the shopping channel routine. And so we're going to actually do a little bit of Firesign Theater shopping channel for you people in Long Beach, because I don't think the signal reaches this far. It will tonight.
And we're going to actually be showing some of these fine things that we'll be offering
Yes.
to people that'll be coming up on the screen. You won't be able to see them here in the audience.
Yes,
You'll have
they
to
can.
watch
We-
the monitor. They can watch
well,
the
we
monitor.
ready to
Yeah,
search.
right.
We
We'll be
ready
getting
to
into that
search.
in just a little while, and we'll have the number for you to call.
And that's it. And people
Because
will
we're
be
in the
able to-
business. I mean, the only way we're going to get by, the only way, you know, we haven't managed our money well.
It's true.
No, it's really haven't managed our money well. We always bet on the wrong horse, right? The wrong narcotic or the wrong stock, or all three at once, and they all came in last. And so now we're in the merch business. Schmata, you know, my grandfather peddled goods between Buffalo, New York, and Chillicothe, Ohio. And I'm doing it now in a kind of a cool electronic way. So I hope everybody here is ready to buy something before you leave.
Oh, yes. These people, they were
Because
all
this is a
first-
gig, you know.
We're at your command. We are going through their automobiles at this moment.
Right, exactly.
To find out which one of them has anything of any value.
Can I poll them on one other thing?
Sure, you
If
can.
this was a Hollywood audience, you'd all have white or black Rangers. Is there anybody that drove up here in a fairly new four-wheel drive vehicle? No!
Not
See?
a one. See?
Not a one!
Not a one.
See?
That's wonderful.
I mean, the modulus of reality in Hollywood is completely skewed.
Yeah.
Completely.
Do you have boats behind your
I
car?
have a daughter
just in
who
case
thinks
you break
everybody
down?
drives
No.
a Ranger. Black or white or red if it's feeling in a holiday mood.
Stan, we got John Pierre. John Pierre, how are you?
¿Cómo será?
Oh, ça va bien.
Ah, bon.
Well, but I have to tell you, the first riot I was ever in was at Elysian Park. I had just gotten out of service. I didn't know that you were responsible for the thing.
Yeah.
All I saw was some kid throwing a wine bottle over somebody else's head, and that's all she wrote. I says, "Hey, I just came here. I was lucky I wasn't hit by a policeman."
All right. Was that the love-in that they had?
The love-in, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That was it. I just gotten out of the service. Hey, let's go. Blah 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 blah, and all that type of stuff.
That was Peter. The blah 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 blah. That was Peter.
The other thing is,
They
I've
still
always
speak
heard,
that out here, don't they?
do.
Yeah.
Well, that's French for
Blah 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 blah, John.
I love that line. They had a guy running for lieutenant. No, what they call it, vice governor, whatever they
Attorney
call
General,
it, Georgia.
Governor of Vice.
Light governor, yeah.
Vice governor. Well, you know, Georgia, any southern states, all of them are vice anyway,
Yes.
or bad advice or what have you. But the bottom line was his name was Pierre, and they said that's French for Bubba.
That's right.
That's the line they said
I
down
like
there.
that.
The
Yeah,
other
that's
thing
my
is,
name.
I've heard the name Phil Proctor so many times.
Yes. Well,
Are you the only Phil Proctor in town?
no, there are actually, I think there are 3 Phil Proctors, but there are many more Peter Bergmans, by the way.
Yeah,
Many
but
more.
that guy writes music, right?
What, Phil Proctor?
Marilyn Bergman or something?
No,
Get
that's somebody
Where is
different.
this going?
No, no, no.
John,
Really?
John,
Really?
I'm the real Phil Proctor, and this is the real Peter Bergman.
This is running out of gas very quickly.
we want
Stan,
John,
Stan's on the line.
John, we
Stan, have
we
you got a
want
high
you,
school
uh,
education?
John, we want you to
Abiento,
mail
Gabriel.
in.
Yeah, bientôt. Yeah.
Go ahead
wow.
and mail in your
Yeah.
question.
I eternité,
It's going to save
Jean-Pierre.
us a lot of time.
Okay, Stan.
Here, let's talk to Stan.
Let's talk to Stan. We don't have a whole lot of choice. Hi, Stan.
Howdy.
Howdy. Oh, boy.
That's what they say along.
Which Stan are you? Are you the Stan?
KPFK
Yes.
in the 1960s,
Yeah.
whence came Firesign Theater,
Right.
was a station with a sense of humor.
Right.
Then.
These days,
Yes.
they're pissed off all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're pissed off at the world.
Yeah.
Could the Firesign Theater have emerged from the current KPFK totally pissed off all the time radio?
Well, I think a different Firesign Theater might have. This is a very similar time. We had the hydrogen bomb we were constantly hiding under our desks against.
Yeah.
That's over now. Now people only have to deal with worldwide ecological disaster.
Overpopulation.
No, really. I
minor
mean,
little problem.
we thought the world might end. Now you have a generation of people who know it's going to end.
The station is not as listenable as it once was in those halcyon days when you guys were also on KRLA.
Are you whining?
Oh, I can't.
I know that wine is a big export from California.
Port, sure.
I'm hearing liberal wine. Is
No,
what I'm hearing. Wine, can't we have the golden days
No.
back when I had the body of a youth?
Really, a routine, KPFK.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happened there?
Well,
Right,
go ahead, please.
Well, first of all, I want to say that we are going to be, they're doing their 35th anniversary broadcast, a special evening, I think on the 24th of July. And the Firesign Theater is going to record something with a friend of ours who works on the station now, who is an antic character. One of the few who still has a sense of humor about all these things. It's very difficult for people of a liberal bent to be not serious about things.
To admit it.
You know,
They're more than liberal. They're going through another of their revolutions, and I don't put them down. They're going through feminism, the Latino revolution, the Black revolution. They're going through an Islamic revolution, only because the gay revolution. No other station will listen to these perfectly legitimate minority voices.
That's right.
In this country, and so they take it on, and because of that, they go through some awful radio. But yeah, they do.
They do.
They do. It's just awful.
And they have to take it very seriously. They have
I mean,
to take it seriously because they're really up against it. You know.
I support.
Thanks for not whining about it.
Well, I support them by not listening. It's the only way that I can really get behind them without having it cost me too much. But on the other hand, KPFK still turns out from time to time some of the most extraordinary radio in the world. So you have to keep listening.
Thank you very much.
Especially when they play our old shows.
Yeah.
You know, when you're talking about that, too, it just seems that the 35th anniversary and what you just explained about KPFK, that's pretty much how everybody's been. Everybody has taken these paths, and I'm sure I don't want to poll these people anymore. I've really looked at them, and I don't want to. I don't want to ask them. I don't want to poll them anymore. I don't think that they. Do you like being polled? See, that's what I thought. See, this is the worst group to poll with.
Well, that's the sound of someone being polled.
Yes,
it
it
isn't
is.
being done right.
Sounds like somebody being polled.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and now they're
Polls have to
grumbling.
be slipped in.
They're grumbling now. I don't like that when they grumble. I
Oh,
talked to you earlier if there was a way to extract from all the work that you have done the 3 or 4 things that you would say, that one, that one, that one, that one. And I talked to you about that. What were the 4 that we chatted about?
For great influences?
The phonograph, the records themselves.
Well, the records.
Which I love the titles if you have not gotten them, seen them around.
Our 4 absolutely best albums are Waiting for the Electrician or Someone Like Him.
Is that on CD?
That's
Let's
on
hold
CD.
that one up.
Hold that one up. How Can You Be in 2 Places at Once When You Aren't Anywhere at All?
Yes, that's that one.
Don't Crush That Dwarf. Hand Me the Pliers, which is my favorite altogether.
We got a hand for that one.
And under there you'll find, I think we're all bozos on this bus.
Yes, that's right.
I think those were written in 4 or 5 consecutive years by the Firesign, approximately between 1968 and 1970, late 72. They were actually written 1 a year. And we spent 8 hours a day, 5 days a week turning that stuff out.
Was it a complete collaboration?
It was a complete collaboration.
Completely democratic.
It was absolutely seamless. It was purely, it was real anarchy in the sense that everybody had a veto, so you had on everything, and therefore we only did what we all liked together.
Did you ever have anything where you wanted it so badly, and then 360 degrees they came back to what you were thinking